not everyone is smart. And that's including Governor Hogan from Maryland. Not too bright Republican there. And he thinks that wokeism and progressivism, that's ultimately what's going to be the problem for the future and the problem for Joe Biden. Let's take a listen to this moron.
The Democrats have been trying to make it all about Trump, and I think that's a mistake. I also think the Democrats, Joe Biden ran as a centrist, saying he was going to bring the country together. I think that's why he won. But he's, the kind of out of control wokeism and far left progressive caucus that almost screwed up the infrastructure bill, I think is going to hurt him.
Kelly, I want to ask you this question. As we have gone from $6 trillion on the infrastructure bill to $4 trillion on the infrastructure bill, now we're at, I think it was $1.95 trillion, barely enough to fill a pothole across the country. Do you think progressivism and even more importantly, wokeism, which is the new word for like blackness, do you think that's what the problem is?
No, I do not think that is the problem. I think that Republicans, you got to hand it to them. They know how to create some words that'll stick in the psyche of everybody's brain. And I'm afraid, but anticipate wokeism actually being a popular phrase. And I'm like already cringing at the thought of it. Because if you think about it, even Obamacare was coined by the Republicans at first. It was actually a derogatory term because they thought it was going to fail. And they just wanted to call it Obamacare, anticipating that it would fail. And then when it didn't, it stuck. But no, I do not think that progressivism or wokeism is going to be the fallout of the Democratic Party. What I do feel, though, however, is that, and I've been talking about this a lot, the fact that the Democratic Party's moniker of a big tent, I think that could be a downfall because there's a difference between being in a big tent and being in a chaotic marketplace. And right now, I feel like it's more chaotic marketplace than big tent. Because if you think about a big tent, you think of a circus, right? But even with all the happenings of what happens in a circus, there's order to it. There's structure to it. There's a sense of decorum and protocols and things like that. And everybody has a role in the circus. And nobody tries to do anything outside of the circus. But more importantly, there's a ringmaster in the circus. And we don't necessarily have that in the Democratic Party. If anything, we got three. We got Biden, Sinema, and Manchin because that's how everybody's acting right now.
Hello.
Come on, somebody. Man, the synapses on this one they're firing, bro. You could just listen to it and they're just like, zoom, 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 just like your brain is just lighting up. But you're saying something there.
It's waking up. That's what's happening.
I love it. The best part of waking up is Folgers. Well, anyway, if they didn't pay us a check yet. So Kelly, you said something there that I think is critical. You said that it's not a big, you say it's a chaotic marketplace, not a big tent, because a big tent would suggest order, but a chaotic marketplace says chaos. Expound on the chaotic marketplace, would you?
Well, with progressives, Democrats, and anything underneath the Democratic Party, right? Because the Republicans have already streamlined that they are going to lean racist, it's like anything that is not Republican has to fall under the Democratic Party because of bicameralism in this country. So all the ideas that make up America, if it is not in line of white supremacy, racism, and bigotry, it's going to have to fall under the Democratic Party by way of how this system is structured. Because God forbid we have a third party that's actually viable. So what's happening right now with the Democratic Party, you have a lot of ideas and no one is the ringmaster to corral the ideas and actually streamline it. No one is getting in line in the Democratic Party, whereas on the Republican side of things, it's nothing but a straight line in the worst direction, but it's a line nonetheless.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that Britney Spears song? Three Ring Circus. What? Because I
know that song, Circus. I like that song.
Circus. Yeah.
I heard a jazz rendition of it. Blew my mind. The way you're outlining this, Kelly, is really, I think you cut to the pulse of it, right? You cut to the core of the situation, right? So it's like everything that's not bigoted, everything that is not racist, everything that is not 1776 pro white supremacist interpretation, pro Christopher Columbus, pro Western civilization. Alexander the Great was all these tropes that are being pushed by conservatism. Everything that's not that is now the enemy. And everything that is the enemy has to be ascribed to the Democrats, when the Democrats are really saying, no, we're not woke ourselves. Matter of fact, before we go there, what the hell? How are we even defining woke?
Black? Again, in the same vein as I was just talking about, like anything that is not bigoted, white, supremacist, or in the interest of white men is going to be considered woke. Even white women and white womanism to an extent would be considered wokeness, especially in Texas, given the bills that just passed. So when you for me, when I hear wokeism, all I hear are dog whistles, right? When I hear wokeism, when I hear CRT, when I hear anything and it's unfortunate that when you hear pro-police now, that is now in itself a dog whistle. When you hear law and order now, that is considered a dog whistle. When you hear anything about, lowering taxes, unfortunately, even that could be considered a dog whistle. Housing and gentrification, all of these things that could benefit Black people if marketed and strategized correctly. It is all a dog whistle to basically keep us out of the American process.